Good morning and welcome to Co-Learning Launch. This is our daily presentation of the fantasy team of the day. And today we have two big names, two big teams playing. We have CSK versus RCB in the afternoon clash of the double-header Sunday. And in the afternoon clash, we have two big names. We have Dhoni against Kohli. It's supposed to be an interesting match with RCB playing in their customary green jersey, which they do every year. And given Dhoni's record against RCB, it will be an interesting match, although CSK is virtually knocked out of the tournament. So before I begin, I would just like to remind you all about the WhatsApp and Telegram community where you can join us and you'll get to know about our updates. All right. So you'll find the link in the description. I'll go right into the team. What's the team for today? We have one keeper, that's AB de Villiers, and he's the only keeper picked today because Dhoni has been really out of form this tournament, and he himself has admitted that his reflexes aren't as fast as they used to be, and he's finding it difficult to time the ball. So as big as a legend he is, it is beyond him to now get those big runs, which is why AB de Villiers, based on his form and his ability to score quick runs at the end and play match-winning innings. So he himself has won RCB 3 games while chasing, which is why AB de Villiers makes it to the team despite his high credits, despite whatever. He is a must-have in your team. Now move on to the batsmen. There is Kohli, there's Padikkal, there's Raidu, there's Faf du Plessis, and there's Aaron Finch. Now, who do you pick among these? These are all big names, and you will see that they are all high credit players as well. So, who do you pick? Now, purely for credits, Kohli misses out. So he's been inconsistent, but he still is a great player, and it is always difficult to leave him out of your fantasy teams because on his day, he scores big runs, and then you may miss out. But then, given his inconsistent form and his high credits, we've decided to go with the more consistent options in Padikkal, in Faf du Plessis. Faf du Plessis, in fact, is the only uh, orange cap contender in this list. And although he may not even be in the contention, given the last 2 3 games how Rahul has played, etc., he may not even be in contention. But he's one of the highest run getters this tournament. So Faf du Plessis has been consistent. Then you have Ride, who's also been fairly consistent because he missed a couple of games, but then he's come back. He played a good innings in Sharjah the other night, uh, scoring of 43 of very few balls, that's around 20 25 balls. He scored a 43. And that should give him confidence. And given the Dubai wicket, he should be able to hit the ball in the gaps, run a few, etc. Which is why Raidu makes it to our team. Then there's Padikkal, who's the Bangalore opener. And okay, so one more thing about Dubai is that we've seen in the last few games, and especially yesterday, that whatever runs are to be scored have to be scored in the first 10, and specifically in the power play, that's the first 6 overs. And that's when openers have to do their part, and they have the best opportunity to get runs because it eventually slows down to an extent where getting a runner ball can also be difficult, as we saw with SRH yesterday. Today's game is likely to be played on the same pitch because there is not enough turnaround time, and hence openers Padikkal and Faf du Plessis make it to our team. Then we look at all rounders. There's Sam Curran, there's Jadeja, there's Sundar, and there's Chris Morris. So out of these, Sam Curran is probably the best performing all rounder this season, purely because he's done it with both bat and ball for CSK. CSK has been over reliant almost on Sam Curran. Jadeja has done well with the bat. He may or may not have a role to play with the ball because uh, there are a ton of left-handers in the RCB lineup. So there's Padikkal, then you have Sundar and someone like a Shivam Dubey if he plays, etc. in the middle order. So Jadeja may or may not have a role to play with the ball. But then if he's bowling to people like Kohli, Finch, etc., or even AB de Villiers, he'll get the ball away from the right hander, which is always a good sign. So yeah, Jadeja may or may not have a role to play with the ball, but definitely will have a lot to do with the bat because of the weak CSK batting lineup. He's probably been one of the most consistent batsmen for them. In fact, so he scored quick runs at the end consistently for them. Then you have Washington Sundar. Washington Sundar again has been phenomenal in the power play and has even batted at five a couple of times, which is why he makes it to our 15. He just misses out because uh, we are not sure if he'll be able to have the kind of impact in the power play with respect to wickets, and wickets is what gets you points. And also, his batting, it may or may not come down to his batting, because if it's about getting quick runs, they'll send Chris Morris ahead of him, which is why we've gone with Chris Morris, who's also picked a wicket every game he's played and is very capable with the bat. We saw that he scored a 20 odd the last time he played in very few balls, which is why Chris Morris as an all rounder is a way better option. And we've gone with these three options for all rounder. There's Sam Curran, there's Jadeja, and Chris Morris. Moving on to bowlers, you have Deepak Chahar, who can swing the ball initially, and we've seen in the last few games that there's a little bit of swing early on in the power play, and that can give him wickets. And interestingly, he may bowl to Aaron Finch, who has a known weakness against the in swinger, and Deepak Chahar can swing the ball both ways. So that's an interesting matchup, which is why we have Deepak Chahar in the squad. Then there's Chahal, there's Siraj, there's Shardul Thakur, and there's Isuru Udana. So Siraj is very difficult to leave out after the last game he had. Uh, he was the one who caused the Kolkata batting collapse with three wickets early on in the game. And then there's Isuru Udana, who's also a very good player for 8 credits, because what happens is he bowls at the death, and against a weakish batting CSK lineup, he can have that kind of impact at the death where he picks up a couple of wickets. He may not have been among the best bowlers for RCB this season, but then he can certainly pick wickets. Shardul Thakur is again one of those bowlers who you think will not have a lot of impact. You may not count him among the best bowlers in your team, but then you will find that he's more often than not among the wickets, which is good for fantasy leagues, and which is why he makes it to R15. He misses out because Deepak Chahar has been in a little bit of form and he's getting wickets up front, which is why we've gone ahead with Deepak Chahar ahead of Shardul Thakur. And there's Yuzvendra Chahal. Yuzvendra Chahal is again been RCB's best bowler, and in Dubai with long boundaries and the track slowing down a bit. We saw what Murugan Ashwin and Ravi Bishnoi did yesterday. So we know what leg spin can do on that Dubai surface, and Chahal being one of India's best bowlers and RCB's best bowler perhaps, will get a lot of purchase from this wicket. All right, so that's our team. Please let us know in the comments if you want any changes, or if you would like to have seen any other player. We'll tell you why that player missed out based on stats, etc. And please continue to like, share, support us. You can follow us on all our social media platforms. You'll find all the links in the description. Okay, so what's the pro tip for today? Okay, so the pro tip for today is that on double headers, the pitch hardly changes between two games because there's not enough time. So the Dubai game yesterday ended at around 11 p.m., 11:30 p.m. India time, and there'll be a game at 3:30 p.m. India time again today. So they don't have enough time to prepare another pitch, which means they'll go with the same pitch. Now that is a plus point for fantasy players, because now you've seen what the pitch is doing or how the pitch is playing. So we saw that it's a low scoring 120-ish game. So in the afternoon, maybe it'll go up to a 140, 150, even 160 game. So based on, you can create your team based on that. So pitch conditions based on the previous game is something we can look at. All right, so that was the pro tip for today. On behalf of Co-Learning Launch, I would like to wish you all a very happy Dashera. Uh, so yeah, please have a prosperous year ahead. So that's it for today. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. There's another game today, so a video for that will go up soon, and you will be notified when that video goes out. So that's it. Thank you.